Whether you love a soft, creamy, and velvety brie or a rustic and hearty pecorino romano, you'll be dying to know how these MasterChefs in Canada have brought the bar even higher for everything to do with cheese. From the traditional smooth, creamy, and zesty cheesecakes to a mouth-watering blue cheese soup, you won't want to miss a second of this breathtaking video. These dishes have been judged, assessed, and picked apart by MasterChef Canada's 3 top restaurateurs. The chef and owner of Zango, Claudio April, alongside the chef and co-owner of famous Toronto restaurants such as Jumping Canoe, Michael Bonaccini, and last but definitely not least, Alvin Lung, the owner of the Michelin-starred restaurants Beau Innovation and Beau London. Blood, sweat, and tears have gone through each of these dishes to revolutionize the way cheese is prepared, served, and devoured. Hi everyone, welcome to Food Mystic. Today, we're going to dive into how MasterChef Canada's 4 astounding chefs perform under pressure to present flawless cheese dishes, baked and cooked to the very highest standard to impress the judges. Now, if you find this video interesting, please go ahead and smash the like button, and more importantly, subscribe if you haven't done so already. Don't forget to flick that notification bell too. Without further ado, let's get started. Our first cheesy goodie is the fan favorite and generation-loved cheesecake. Imagine this: crisp and sweet crust that flakes at the cusp, fresh zest dashing and dancing with tang, mouth-watering creamy and sweet vanilla skipping along the edge. Feeling hungry yet? That's not even the best part yet. These MasterChefs from Canada used high-quality ingredients sourced from all over the world to revamp our typical rustic cheesecake into a heavenly dining experience that I highly recommend you try in your own kitchen as well. With fresh cage-free eggs, sweet white sugar, exotic vanilla, crispy graham crackers, creamy butter, and Philadelphia cream cheese, our chefs went head-to-head to put their own spin on this family favorite dessert. 90 minutes might sound like a huge amount of time, but these chefs had to make the best cheesecake possible. The pressure is definitely on when the stakes are high, and no one wants to be known for an overbaked or underbaked cheesecake. The delicate balance of perfect oxygen mixtures to get that fantastic fluff, alongside that creamy, slightly dense but definitely bounced center, was paramount for success across these chefs. Scrambling for each second that was running down the clock with 2 minutes left, Josh, who had never baked in his entire life, had his cake stuck on the cake pan. Battling with the frozen cake, Josh pushed with all his strength to get the cake out of the cake pan. This definitely is a disaster for Josh, when his cheesecake collapsed with part of the cheesecake left on the pan. At the final countdown, Dale's smooth and creamy cheesecake with berry and pomegranate coulis tasted well but didn't present as well with its fresh sweet strawberries toppings. Danielle's limoncello key lime cheesecake had the perfect taste and zesty look. But Kayla's chocolate caramel pecan cheesecake definitely stood out from the rest. Not for good measure though. Let's be honest, when you're making a cheesecake from scratch, you need to make sure that you include a certain ingredient: cheese. From the depths of Italy to the streets of France, our MasterChefs in Canada transformed our soft and hard cheeses into magnificent marvels. Let's start off with Lynn's cheesy treat that melded vibrant apricots, sensual olive oil, rustic bread, and creamy cheese into a dish to die for. Oh wait, don't forget that mouth-watering mascarpone mousse. Lynn masterfully captures the beauty of France through the glorious glaze, edging the fresh apricots alongside the fantastic Chateau de Bougain. This enticing sweetness pairs magnificently with the rich, creamy, and buttery cheese. To push the flavor factor to the absolute limits, they paired this amazing cheesy dish with the savoriness of crisp bread, aromatic olive oil, and creamy mascarpone mousse settled from northern Italy. Lynn definitely did well finish off just a couple of minutes before the time close. If your mouth hasn't watered yet, it definitely will when you see the next dish. With 1 minute left, David battled to get the meringue on the crackers. David's exquisite scrumptious lemon curd parfait with meringue on a graham cracker sponge base tastes just like it sounds and looks. Absolutely amazing. As the judges analyzed this dessert, they were impressed at how the presentation was one of a kind. David rose the bar of dessert standards as he captured different technical textures, whilst also delicately blending the crunchy meringue alongside the fusion of the soft and creamy mousse. David and Lynn definitely made these judges gobsmacked, as they were astounded to their very core by these intricate and stunning desserts. They don't just call the pressure test for nothing. Next up on our cheesy court are ricotta cheese dishes. In another seat-clenching episode of MasterChef Canada, our chefs are put to insane pressure. In an hour, they have to make ricotta cheese from scratch. Then, with the ricotta cheese, they need to come up with these two dishes: ricotta with ravioli and ricotta with nudis. Don't let the name fool you. No one and nothing is going to be nude here. Nudi is a cheesy alternative to gnocchi. Instead of the usual mashed potato, flour, and egg, nudi is made by swapping out the mashed potato for that rich and creamy ricotta cheese. Yum yum! In this challenge, our chefs are put to the test to one-up each other by inputting their own spin on these two dishes. One of the chefs, Mary, intelligently traps the cheese curds by using a triple layer of cheesecloth. In other words, she's adding layers of cheese on top of cheese to make it even cheesier. Cheeseception, am I right? But wait, in her dish, ricotta stuffed ravioli, in a lemon brown butter sauce, she failed to showcase the brown butter sauce. In every ravioli dish, what do you need to tie it all together? Yes, that's right, the sauce. On the flip side, Mary did exceptionally well with her second dish, olive oil and tomato gnudi. Close your eyes and imagine an aromatic, light and fragrant creamy sauce with the heat of fresh chili flakes, sweet olives, and tangy tomatoes. And in the midst of it, your cheesy and fluffy gnudis caressed by freshly grated Parmesan cheese and buttery provolone. This is definitely a cheesy sensation that you do not want to miss out on. Bonus points if you can make this in your own kitchen. In this role, our chefs are upping the ante through a cheesy trifecta by using earthy and tangy luxury goat's cheese, sharp and salty soft blue cheese, and rich Avonlea cloth-bound cheddar in 3 separate and delectable dishes. Firstly, blazing the trail of cheesy goodness, here's a quick question to make you think. What's better than a soufflé? If you didn't say a cheesy soufflé, then you're in for a treat. By pairing fluffiness and creaminess, Miranda and Alice froze the audience in absolute awe as they watched MasterChefs Canada. There's a moment when we could see Miranda was trying to help Alice when Alice got her yolk in her egg white. What more can you ask for? Great team spirit, Miranda. This dynamic duo ingeniously created the light, airy, and fluffy cheese soufflé that danced on the palates of the judges, as it transported them from their dining table at the studio to blissful heaven. Don't leave your seat just yet. We've only started our cheesy journey. Next on the list, we have another chef who masterfully created gourgères from the classic French pâté à choux. In other words, imagine a custard cream puff, but instead of custard, it's cheese. By delicately folding and kneading layers of cheese into the dough, they created an absolute masterpiece. That's not all though. After these ingredients fused together, they placed it in an oven to heat, rise, and crispen. After matching the perfect texture, crispiness, and golden brown shine, these savory cheesy cream puffs were paired off with an elegant tartare made from sweet apples, creamy butter, and white sugar that was caramelized in a hot cast iron pan. Talk about a sweet sensation with a creamy finish. Finally, and definitely not least, is a hearty butternut squash and blue cheese ravioli, intertwined with an extravagant creamy white sauce for that extra flavor. As you can probably tell by now, these chefs definitely know how to continue the explosive flavors on and on and on. It's hard to imagine that these chefs made these delicious dishes in just under 90 minutes, let alone with almost zero guidance. Surely if they can do it, then we could too, right? Maybe I'm just hopeful since cheese is life. Before we dive into the last section of cheesy goodness, let's take a quick step back to memory lane. In typical MasterChef fashion, you have memorable quotes such as, "It's not burnt, it's just enthusiastically crisp." Okay, let's be real. That's definitely burnt. However, one of the most prestigious chefs in MasterChef did confidently say, and I quote, "It's all in the sauce." And that's what this chef did when they made this extravaganza of a sauce which rocked the culinary world to its core. When it comes to cheese, you definitely want to make sure your sauce is creamy, cheesy, and extremely flavorful. That's what this chef did in their pear and goat cheese mousseline. By fusing crispy pear and sweet pear pieces with rich, soft, and earthy goat cheese, they've lifted the game for the traditional macaroni and cheese that we all love. With something as flavorful as goat cheese, you want to make sure that your sauce is packed with that flavor, especially when you're pairing it with the rustic cheese-crusted broccoli for dipping. The simplicity of this dish makes it a definite favorite since anyone can make it in their own kitchen. Finally, another simply cheesy treat that's extremely Moorish is this blue cheese ravioli, with scrumptious filling consisting of butternut squash, nutmeg, and of course some hefty blue cheese. After creating this ravioli, our chef deep-fried it and topped it with a gorgeous amount of honey, fresh yogurt, and some more blue cheese in the form of sage cream. The absolute finesse of having a crispy base, a crunchy top, and a moist and explosive filling is something that you would definitely want to try out. Our chefs showcased their drive, motivation, and ultimate desire to become the next MasterChef of Canada, with their relentless resilience through this difficult challenge. Who knows? Maybe you'll be called the MasterChef in your family or friend group for making these deliciously cheesy and creamy treats. What was your favorite cheesy sensation in this video? Let us know in the comments section below. Thanks for subscribing. Till next time.